hey, the market's kind of going down, our market share and our business is doing really well. Let's kind of accumulate these people at a discounted rate and see how they produce for us. And at the end of the day, they sign a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 year contract, whatever it might be. Wow. Ricky to Discraft, my thoughts. They have pretty much all the good players. They're really making some moves. I know that the whole Discraft moniker when Macbeth first went there was making moves, and they are continually making some moves. I like Discraft. Bob, Shane, my other Discraft announcement kind of videos that have come out this year, I feel like I've praised them a lot. Obviously, Mike, I think that they're kind of ahead of the game in terms of seeing the market be down, know that their market share is up, and they're scooping up the people at a discounted rate. Ricky was on a pretty big deal. Obviously, would be willing to bet a decent amount of my own money that he took a pretty severe pay cut from what House of Discs was paying, and simply, I know that because if his contract was worth it at House of Discs and they were making money on his contract, obviously they wouldn't have let him go. Companies are in the business to make money. And so whatever these players are being signed for, every player in the history of ever, MLB thinks they're making money, or the team thinks they're making money on Shohei Ohtani. No matter how much ridiculous we think it is he's making, the team's making money on him, whether it's jersey sales, ticket sales, season ticket sales, whatever it might be. Having someone like that, the reason these athletes make a couple $100 million is because the teams or the brands or whoever thinks that they're making them a profit. So at the end of the day, I'm sure Discraft got a pretty good deal on Ricky because the disc golf and sponsorship market is so far down. Ricky is obviously very marketable, very good, and I think only more and more marketable with Discraft being in charge. I think the issue is he was on House of Discs, Dynamic Discs, and they made a Raider or a General, whatever it was, in 96 plastics. And on Infinite Discs and a bunch of other sites, these same discs were deeply discounted and still not selling out. So hopefully, I'm hoping, for the sake of Discraft, Ricky, and, I'm sure that Ricky's getting a base pay of XYZ, and then, hey, royalties on top of it. So if he sells 300,000 discs this year, he's going to make more than his base pay. So I'm hoping for everybody involved that they're giving him a line, making him hopefully a dagger, and are going to, be able to sell and promote Ricky the way that he deserves to be promoted with more than one mold and a few plastics. With that said, and I have the discs right here, the Climo thing, I now know that they are not afraid to kind of just remake the discs that someone really likes. And so I am excited to see the Discraft version of the dagger, because I was not expecting them with the Climo stuff to literally kind of just like make an AVR, Wraith, and a Rock. I don't know why. I thought that they would, diversify a little bit and try to make it a little bit different. But the fact that they made these shows that they're like, hey, this is what worked for you, we're going to make them. And so if that's the same sentiment with Ricky, I am very excited to see the Discraft version of the dagger, not only to see what Ricky does with it, but also to see how truly similar they can make it, if, of course, that's something Ricky wants. The team they have is unbelievable right now. First off, Macbeth and Wysocki on the same team. Other than Gain in the last few years, those have been by far and away the best two players we've had since 2012. So 13, I guess going on 13 years, Macbeth and Wysocki have been, in my opinion, by far the two best outliers. In terms of if those two people played their absolute best disc golf, not very many other of us players were going to have much of a chance, if a chance at all. I remember the Macbeth, 2014 to 2017 years, 2016, where he seemed nearly unbeatable if he brought his game to the course. And Ricky had moments as well. I think 16 and 17, he went back-to-back world championships. Obviously, incredible talent, incredible player. And to have these two people now on the same team after the rivalry, after the kind of turmoil that they've went through, to have them on the same team promoting the same plastic, and I'm sure Macbeth's going to be promoting Ricky's discs, and Ricky's now going to be hopefully promoting Macbeth's discs. I know Macbeth is a team player. how Ricky handles this swap and being with Macbeth, time will tell. But I'm excited to see how this all breaks down. And I believe Shane, their marketing guy, Bob, Mike, the whole team at Discraft is ready to execute on this. And obviously, they have the machine time. Maybe they bought more. Maybe they have it figured out. I know during COVID time, they were having a tough time just keeping discs in the warehouse. So adding all these superstar players plus creating Ken's stuff, I'm really excited to see what route they go, how much stuff they're releasing, how often they're making new discs, because they still obviously have Barella, who's arguably, one of the best players in the world. Presnell won a major last year. Pretty much if they had Gannon, I'd say that they were solidifying themselves, a decent amount of top 5 finishers every single week. But overall, I'm curious on the fans' thoughts on this small portion. If a player there's plenty of players that apply to this. Ricky is just probably the highest level of player. If they continue to switch sponsors and they're not making themselves new discs, right? Because if Ricky goes to Discraft, when he went to Discraft, and he makes himself a version of the Raptor, like Yuli's signature disc, whatever. I guess my question is, how many times can a player go to a new brand over and over and over again and then be like, these are the best discs. This disc is the best. You got to buy this disc. Like, obviously, Ricky's brand is incredibly strong. One of the best players, as I mentioned, for so long. But, like, how many transfer overs do you get until, you guys are like, hey, we're kind of over the whole this is the best disc thing. I'm simply asking. I'm curious because I would like to know where that line is, I guess. And for what reason? Just curiosity. I'm just curious, like, how many times you guys as fans are receptive of, like, this is the best putter. When obviously we get paid to, promote the brand that sponsors us. So, of course, we're going to say that's the best putter. And it's bad publicity to say that, I wish, if he goes to Discraft and uses the Focus and says, man, I wish I had a dagger. Obviously bad publicity for their putter lineup. So it's never going to happen. But I am curious how, in disc golf, really, it's the only sport. Because I don't think very many basketball players, like, I'm a diehard Oklahoma City Thunder fan. And then, all of a sudden they get traded and they're just an athlete playing. Disc golf, you're trying to sell a product. So you're saying, oh man, this is the really good. This is better than the Buzz. This is better than the Destroyer. How long does that last in terms of, Ricky's been sponsored by pretty much everyone, and some of them twice or 3 times, I think. How long does that last with the fans, right? Because at the end of the day, you guys are the ones buying the Ricky discs. I'm not buying them. Macbeth's not buying them. Discraft is making them, but they're not buying them. How many times do the fans go switch and buy a Firebird, Felon, Raptor, whatever the disc might be? And I'm just curious. That's just a question I have as a person that's in the market in disc golf. I own a manufacturing company. So this isn't a dig at Ricky. There's plenty of players that have jumped around a bunch. It's just Ricky is the highest level of that, where I'm sure there's 100,000 people that no matter where Ricky goes, they're buying his Ricky Wysocki branded products because they love Ricky. But I'm curious for the normal fan how far that extends. And again, that's just a curiosity that I have. Overall, Discraft is literally making moves. They're taking over. I'm excited to see what they do going forward. Just say 2028, how many more people they get if they dial it back a bit. If they're kind of seeing, like I mentioned earlier in the video, hey, the market's kind of going down, our market share and our business is doing really well. Let's kind of accumulate these people at a discounted rate and see how they produce for us. And at the end of the day, they sign a 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year contract, whatever it might be. If you get them for a good deal, just like a house, right? Hopefully you buy your house at a decent deal and you sell it for more later. So hopefully along the way, Ricky and Discraft, they're making money, they're selling discs, and then if it doesn't work out, just on to the next sponsor or player. So again, I'm Drew Gibson. Make sure to shop at Infinite Discs and buy your Squatch bags. I will see you in the next one.